Welcome to Release Readiness Live. I'm Elna Miller, your community moderator, and I am very excited to be here with you this week as we talk about some of the great new features in the Spring 19 release across all the major clouds. Today, we're starting off with a double header. We're doing Sales Cloud this morning, and then we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with the Einstein Analytics team. So 2 broadcasts in 1 today. What I love about Release Readiness Live is that no matter what type of Trailblazer you are, whether this is your first release or your 20th, you will learn something new that you can use. Now, our product managers are right here in the studio to do live demos and take some of your questions on the air. And speaking of questions, I'm very happy to welcome back our original community rock star, Sam Acuff, and Sam is going to be handling Q&A for us today. So Sam, tell us, how can we ask questions and do shout-outs?
Thanks, Elna. I am so excited, and it's very, very simple. Use the hashtag Salesforce Live. Either use that in the Release Readiness Trailblazer group on our Trailblazer community, or use Twitter. But the important thing is the hashtag Salesforce Live. Now, we do have a policy of no questions left behind. If we don't get to your question on the air, we will follow up personally on your tweet or your post within the next few days. So, Elna, back to you, but keep the questions coming throughout the day.
Yes, we love to hear your questions, and I know there's going to be a lot of them today, so we're ready for you. All right, so we are going to be recording this, so you can watch it back anytime you wish. And I just want to make one more quick little reminder that we are going to be talking about some forward-looking statements today, so please make sure to make your purchasing decisions based on currently available functionality. And now, let's meet our product managers, starting with Mike Way.
Thank you, Elna. Hi, this is Mike Way. I'm glad to be back for Release Readiness Live. I'm here to talk about a foundational piece of Sales Cloud, the meat and potatoes, Sales Core and Sales Productivity.
Hi, my name is Ying Wang. I'm relatively new at Salesforce. This is my first Release Readiness Live. So today I'll be talking to you about Sales Cloud Einstein.
Hey everyone, my name is Victor Liu, and I am also attending this for the first time for Release Readiness. Today I'll be talking about a brand new product we're bringing to market called High Velocity Sales.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Anusha Surapeti, Product Manager for Operational Reports. And this is actually my second Release Readiness Live. I've been working here for almost 2 years. And today I'm very excited to showcase what's coming for reports and dashboards for Spring 19.
And that makes 2 of us, and possibly a lot more out there too, Anusha. Thank you. All right, Mike, let's get going with core sales.
All right, let's get to it. Accounts and contacts, right? Accounts is about the customer relationship, and the opportunity is about bringing it to close. So what features do we bring in the Spring 19? So the very first one I highlight is when you change account owners, now we have the ability you can transfer related records or key center related records. So we give you options what to do some related records to the accounts. Next, on the account and opportunity teams, now you can extend your sales team to your indirect sales. So let's say your channel sales teams. So now you can add them, partner users, into account and opportunity team. Next is a simple productivity win for when people use account and opportunity team. So instead of deleting members one by one, now you have an action to delete all members from the account and opportunity team in one action. And on the product side, we made enhancements to Product Selector because we know a lot of users have smaller screens and they do not fit with the current product selector we have. So we take the compact layout that we delivered in the previous release, and now it's an opportunity, quotes, and an order object for you to add products. In addition, when you search for a product in Product Selector, now it excludes archived products. So if you have old products that doesn't make sense to the sales team, now you'll be excluded from search, so your sales teams cannot add them into the opportunity. And forecasting territory management, my favorite subject. So in the last release, we released territory forecast. Gives you more abilities. I know sometimes sales is not a one-to-one relationship up the hierarchy, the role hierarchy. And also, you might have a matrix situation. So you might have multiple members sell into a territory. So released territory forecast last release, but now we went deeper. Now you can drill down based on product family. So instead of just looking at the opportunity amount, now you can see a breakdown by product, by service for the territory. In addition now, you can extend that territory forecast. As I said before, you might have a matrix situation, but for a territory forecast, now I can extend to all my members within that territory. So we can manage those deals together and bring them home. And with forecasting now, if you have quarterly forecasts, before we show 8 quarters of data, so you can go compare year over year for 2 years of data. And on the month side, you only have 12 months. So in this release, we extended to 15. So you can compare some year over year data for your forecast. And on the territory side, now we extend the territory group definition and sharing groups. So what does that mean? So territory groups is good. We assign based for the accounts and opportunities. Now you can indirectly use the territory group definition to use sharing definitions on any object now. So for example, let's say I have leads managed by my manufacturing territory group. I can share that directly to my central team, since a lot of the manufacturers are in central region. And last but not least, for the territory, now the groups are shared in public groups and queues. So now if you share any, like if you have sharing set for groups or chatter, now you can extend that to your territory. In addition, now you can filter reports and list views down to territories. So give me more flexibility of how you want to take advantage of filtering. Activity management. So the first 3 is all around calendar. These are the top 5 ideas right now for Sales Cloud gaps to lightning. So the very first one is recurring events. This was beta in the last release, and now we finally took it to make it generally available. Next one is about managing public calendars. So now if you have a team calendar, like that bulletin board you have for your team, now you can add them so this way your team know what's going on on the team level, what's going on. In addition, you also have resourcing calendar. So you can add resources to the calendar. So for example, if I want a projector, I can add that in to remind myself to bring a projector to that meeting. And next is about attendees. So now I can add other attendees into the calendar, and you have Lightning Sync. This will automatically sync up to your Microsoft or Gmail or Google Calendar and send the invites from there. And then for task, now a new feature in platform is about pin list. So for tasks, the most recent record actually does not make sense. You want to look at future tasks. So one quick way is pin, for example, open task. So this, when you come into your task list view, your first one would go straight to productivity and then, hey, I want to work on open tasks I have to work with. And speaking of productivity, now we add a single click for you to close the task in the task record home, so you can quickly create the task. And last but not least, now you can create a follow-up task or event from a task. So I can quickly go to the task, click the action, create the follow-up, and what I'll do is copy the subject, copy the attendee, the name, and the related record, so this way you can quickly create new tasks and duplicate it from a previous one. And last but not least is about email. So email opt-out support. So if you have on the on the contact, lead, or a person account, now we respect the email opt-out. So if you don't have permission to send those emails, now we won't allow you to send those permissions. In addition, if you use individual objects and do not track, you also will not be allowed to send email. One thing we added was a new permission called send non-commercial emails. So for example, your sales team might be able to send emails to their customers because they don't have questions that follow up, but they do not want marketing materials from your company. So you might restrict the marketing person from sending that email. So you can assign this permission to your sales team. Now that salesperson can send the email and then make sure they can engage with their customer. In addition, now we have additional enforcement of email privacy. So in this release, if you use the data protection and privacy from Salesforce, I recommend to enable this enforced email privacy. This you'll get more GDPR compliant, also anti-spam. So we'll also look at the individual object. If you have forget this user, do not process this person, do not track, do not market. Now all of those will be respected, and make sure emails do not get sent to those users. And last but not least is about templates. So in the previous release, templates were either private or public, so it's very hard to organize. Now we give you folders and subfolders. So now you can greatly organize your email templates and make it easier to find. And last but not least is with the email templates and folders now, you can go and share the permissions of folders. So now let's go see this in the demo. So I'm logged in as Justin William, a sales manager. So the very first one I see, I land at my home page. First thing I'm going to go in and see my task. As I alluded to before, open task the first thing that comes up, right? Not the recent records. So like most tasks are basically one and done, kind of like NCAA basketball players. And I can quickly open up these tasks. Now you can see I have a button to quickly mark them as complete. I can also unmark them if I want to check them as incomplete. And then when I go back, I see I have a forecast call. Actually, I want to close this one out. And then I'm going to create a calendar event for that one. And I had this follow on series, so I have this important opportunity I have to go follow up on. Now I can quickly create follow-up tasks or events. And let's say if I create a follow-up task, you will see we automatically copy over the subject, copy over assigned to, and then the related to will automatically associate the name and related record from the previous task. So it's a quick way to duplicate tasks to multiple records. And now going back to my forecast call, I don't want it as a task. Now I want to go to a calendar. Since this is now we have recurring calendar within my calendars within Salesforce. So now I want to create a new event. Let me call it a forecast call. Very important as a sales manager. And I want to do this in our new Salesforce Tower. And I can see I can quickly repeat this forecast call. I want to do this weekly. Let's say for Monday and Wednesday. I want to do this for the rest of the quarter, so I could quickly enable that. In addition now, instead of assigning to myself, now I can assign to a public calendar. So for example, if I have a team calendar, so like I said, this is that bulletin board I want to showcase to all my team so that we know together as a team what we have to accomplish next. In addition now, I can add resources. So for my forecast call, since I want to make sure, hey, the reps are doing well, I want to make sure I bring my cowbell, bring that hurrah to the meeting, right, to make sure the reps, hey, good reps are doing well. Maybe for the bad reps, I want to bring my stick, just to like, hey, move them along to make sure they can progress the deals and make sure I can increase the forecast. And on the people side, I can add more people. So for example, I want to add my great boss, Michael Scott. Now I can add them into this calendar. So I show you 3 features in here with calendar. So you have recurrent events, you have the public and resources calendar, and also you can add attendees. And I want to be a question on sync. Now I want to quickly cover that right now. So if you're using Lightning Sync, recurring calendar will sync up with Microsoft, but not Google. Public calendar and resources do not sync up with either. And attendees, if you use a single event, both of them will sync up with Microsoft and Google. So now I'm going to quickly create this calendar, and you can see the magic being happening. So it will automatically create the forecast. So you can see my forecast calls have been created. So I have 2 repeated forecast calls for this week. And then speaking of forecast, now I can go to my forecasting app and run my forecast. So you can see here I'm running a territory forecast based on opportunity revenue. So I'm running America's forecast call. Now I can extend this to my expanded team. So maybe I'm going on vacation next week, since it's going to be Chinese New Year. So I'm giving my subordinate, Mary, I can give her read access or read and edit so she can make adjustments. For her, I want to give her read and edit access. So now I can extend this forecast to her. So when I'm on vacation next week, she can come and run my forecast calls for me. But in addition to run your forecast of territory based on opportunity revenue, now we allow you to drill down based on product family. So now you can get more details breakdown by product family. So you can see here, I can see my breakdown, how much is being delivered by hardware, how much by services. And when I expand this, I can see my sub-territories, how they're doing, and see what's going on. For me, I feel like service is a little light. I know there's more deals out there. I can always make adjustments here. I want to make 150. I know my team is sandbagging here. So I know they're hiding stuff away from me. So I want to save that. So this way my manager knows for services on the territory level, I can deliver more than what the team's going to say. And then speaking of forecast now, I want to look at my pipeline, right? So if I go to my list view, I also pin my closing this quarter. So all my pipe I have for run for this quarter. Now I have the ability to filter based on territories. So instead of looking at all opportunities now, I can be more focused and just say I want to look at just my territory's opportunity. I can do that. So I can filter it down and save. And I can see now I only have 4 opportunities I should really focus on since this is within my territory. Okay, now that's all my on the pipeline side. Now I dread is about email templates, right? It does not spark joy because right now it's just about public and private folders. But in the spring release now we give you ability to really organize your templates, kind of like Marie Kondo giving you little boxes how to organize. And I can use that here. So if I drill down that in my folders, now I can organize by here I have EMEA and North America. If I drill down to North America, I have more templates, I have more folders. And then when I drill down to Midwest, now you can see I have breadcrumbs, right, to show you where am I in the hierarchy of email template folders. I can go back up to North America. Now what's even better that Kamari can't do is share my organization with my group, right? So now I can extend the sharing to my territories. So this is my North America templates I created. Now I want to share this to my Americas team. I can also give them access, view only, view is just the access to templates. Edit gives them ability to manage the templates within this folder and subfolders. Manage gives them ability to also manage the folders here. So maybe for my team, I just want to give ability to manage the folders, manage the email templates and make sure they can write them. So I can share that to my team. And then now I'm going to go to my accounts, right? Because I know our territory is going to be realigned soon. And I also want to do some updates on the accounts. So first thing I want to show you is I can quickly, now on the account team, is remove all members. So in one quick action now, I can remove all the account teams on this related list. So quickly remove all the members. And then when I want to switch an account, so let's say my account's going to be switched. I'm going to assign it to Mary. I know it's going to be assigned to Mary. Now you can decide do you want to transfer some of the related records or keep them. So let's say for this one, I want to keep the opportunity team and account team. So I know it's important for continuity of sales team to keep the extended team. So I can change ownership. But before I do that, so I'm going to change owner here. But before I do that, I actually want to reach out to my contact. So Lauren Boyle is the CEO of the contact for Sirius. So I'm going to open up her record. So one thing I want to do is send her an email to remind her there'll be an account change coming up. And you can see here, Lauren Boyle actually opted out of sending emails. But as a salesperson, since I have the ability, I have the non-commercial email user permission on, I get a warning to let me know I actually have the ability to send non-commercial emails. So if I scroll down, I want to quickly insert my template. And when I go find my template, now because I organized my template, I can see the folders are in here, and I can quickly drill down to, let's say, the Americas template, the one I shared to my extended team, and quickly find the template I want to use. So now I change account owner, template in North America, insert that. I can quickly get a preview of that email, and it looks good. And when I hit send, I actually get one more warning to the user to make sure, are you sure you're sending non-commercial email, because you want to make sure it be compliant with anti-spam. So I click this to make sure it is a non-commercial email, and I can send this off to Lauren. So now she'll get a notification, let her know, hey, we're changing account owner soon, and just want to keep in touch and make sure everything's going okay. And with that, that's the end of my demo, Elna.
Wow, that's a lot of great stuff there. I tell you, I love the calendar items and productivity, all those things that save you time. I saw there was a couple shout outs, but I'll save those for Sam, but I saw there's some shout outs for the pinned lists and things like that. So speaking of questions and shout outs, Sam, what do we have out there?
Yeah, so we have some great questions. So I want to give a shout out to Jenny, who was the first one that posted in the Release Readiness Live group. And she is asking about, let me see, let me bring it up. Sorry about that. Here it is. So it's an enhancement question. If we change the account owner, can we change the contact owners to the same person all in one update? And I think you were showing that, but I wanted to make sure Jenny caught that.
Yeah, so you can, it will transfer all the related lists on the account team, right? So the question was on the contact.
Yeah, specifically she wanted to know about contacts.
So contact will stay, right? So when you switch the account, we're just switching owners, right? So about the ownership of account and opportunity team, the contacts are still related to the account. They will not be moving.
Contact owner is what
owner?
she's asking about. Does that switch as well? And if we need to get back after testing, that's okay.
Yeah, I think we'll have to get back to her on that.
So it's a great question. I know that I've encountered that as well. So thank you, Jenny. And then Carol is asking regarding tasks. She's very interested in the repeating tasks that are created. Can you change only one of them after the fact? So let's say you have a 6-month recurring task and then you want to make a change. Do you make a change to all of them or do you have to change them individually?
So I believe for that one, you can change the recurring task, right? So you can go back in and change your recurring tasks.
For the set. Okay, and then I just want to touch a little bit on GDPR because I know it's really important. So you shared some really important stuff. If you're looking at the last release and this release, what are the call-outs that you want to make around email sends and privacy related to GDPR? So we want to make sure everybody's set up for success.
So if you have data protection and privacy enforced within Salesforce, in this release regarding to email, I recommend go enforce the email privacy setting. So this way we'll respect the individual object that you track for your individuals, and we do not mark it. If you mark them as do not market, do not proceed, forget this individual, and do not track, we will respect that regards to GDPR.
That's awesome, because I know that that's really important. And Elna, I'm going to hand it back to you.
All right. I actually had a comment about the Marie Kondo reference. So you said, I would add, only keep the email templates if they give you joy, right?
Yes.
So this is time to clean up those. Yeah. So there was one question that I was actually interested in hearing the answer to before we move on to Einstein, and that is you were showing attendees and people, and it looked like it might be two separate things. Are they two separate things? Oh, and if they are, what is the difference?
So the people side, the users within Salesforce, right? Attendees could be a person or your contacts and leads, right? So you can add them to it, but the assigned to just the people within your
But could an
Salesforce.
attendee also be an internal
It can
person?
also internal user too.
So it's more,
can be both.
the attendees is kind of broader,
yeah, broader.
right? And if you just want to add internal people, the quickest way to do that is through the people, right? Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Okay, so if you have questions, please keep posting them, especially in the Release Readiness Trailblazers group. Don't forget the hashtag Salesforce Live. And if you just thought of some questions, we haven't gotten to them yet, just keep posting them, and we'll circle back with you after we finish all of our presentations today. So with that, I want to introduce Ying, who's going to talk about Einstein.
Yes. Hi, thank you for joining us. Today I'll talk to you about Sales Cloud Einstein and what's new in the spring release. These days, the amount of data surrounding us is overwhelming. For sales reps, between the structured CRM data and the unstructured data like emails, call notes, business news, there simply isn't enough time to keep up. So we know you need to find a way to make sense of all the data, and that's exactly what we're providing. So Sales Cloud Einstein is your personal data scientist. It trains on all your CRM data, your business processes, and all the CRM best practices that we know at Salesforce. It brings clarity and focus to everyone on your team, because now they know what pipelines have the highest potential, how to prioritize, what are the pipeline trends, and what actions they can take to move the needle. We also really focus on productivity. Einstein Activity Capture and automated contacts save you hours a week, and it gives you back the precious time you need to sell. Many of you already use Einstein Activity Capture. This is exactly the kind of productivity tool that can save you time. It takes a few clicks for a user to connect their Gmail, Outlook, or Office 365 account to Salesforce. And once connected, their emails and calendar events with contacts and leads will show up in the Lightning UI in Activity Timeline. Today, it's already available to every Sales Cloud customer with 100 users at no extra charge. So there's no reason why you can't take advantage of it already. But we have taken it further with the spring release. For the first time, Einstein captured activities can be seen by everyone in the org. By everyone, we truly mean everyone, not just the user who have connected their accounts. So now data sharing and collaboration has never been easier. For the admins in this audience, now everyone can see how easy it is to save time and share data. It might be a great time for you to push for user adoption. We're also bringing bi-directional events and context sync to Einstein Activity Capture. So now your data will be fully in sync no matter where changes were made. And because events and contexts are also synced as Salesforce records, you also get the full platform support. And Sandbox is also supported for Einstein Activity Capture, so there's another good news for admins. And there's more. Sales reps say engaging at the right time is one of the top factors that impacts their ability to close a deal. Now you can enable email tracking and see the last open date of an Einstein captured email right there in the timeline. So based on that information, you can decide when is the right time to re-engage. Activity Dashboard also got some great update. This is a place where Einstein captured activities and the manually logged activities can be viewed and analyzed as a whole. So you can slice and dice by user, by activity type, related object, or you can view trends over time. As a beta feature, we're introducing a set of key activity metrics, also based on that complete view of all your both of your captured activities and logged activities. So you can decide what metrics are really important for you, and you can put them on the UI, use them in a standard activity report, or put them in triggers and build a business process around them. This is a paid feature. However, you only need one paid license, and everybody in your org can use activity metrics. So another great feature to take advantage of. Einstein Email Insights is a feature our customers love because it surfaces important information. So you know a customer has requested that meeting before you even get to the email in your inbox. And also you can take action right there from the activity timeline, so save you a lot of time and clicks. In the spring release, we're introducing two standard insights, competition mentioned and executive mentioned. Plus, we're giving you more power to customize the insight exactly ones you want to see. You can now create a compound insight by using keywords such as your competitors' names and standard insight like competition mentioned. Now you can have a specific insight for a particular competitor. Einstein Forecasting has been available for a few releases. It looks at the past trends of your sales team, your pipeline, all the activities to predict how your team is going to close at the end of the month. With the spring release, if you're a customer who uses quarterly forecasting, you can take advantage of Einstein Forecasting with this pilot feature. We have also been adding more to the tuning capability of Einstein Forecasting. In the last release, we added the ability for admins to exclude certain opportunity custom fields that are irrelevant for the prediction model. In the spring release, with this pilot feature, we're taking another huge step forward by supporting segmentations. We know you don't sell the same way to all your customers, so now your enterprise customers and your SMB customers don't have to share the same model, so forecasting will be more accurate. Einstein Insights and automated contexts are now reportable. So you can slice and dice your Einstein Insights in a special dashboard, create whatever reports you want. This can give you interesting business insights, such as how many contacts were added last week, what kind of opportunity insights I'm getting from my current pipeline. They're also available through our public APIs, so you can actually integrate Einstein into your own applications or customer solutions. Finally, we're adding a new kind of insight to alert you about opportunities with unusually high or low revenue amount. So whether this is a typo from a sales rep, or the biggest deal of your team, you will know right away. So with that, I'll move on to the demo. So let's start with Einstein Insight dashboard. So as I mentioned, user can create whatever reports they need. For me, I want to look at what kind of insights I get from my opportunities. So here I can see most of my opportunities are trending up, which is great news. But I still have 9 opportunities that are showing signs of slowing down. So the next question is why? What's going on? What can I do to give them a boost? And I have just the right report here for that question. I can see the top reasons for slowing deals are decreased meetings and email volume. So this is something I can act on. I can follow up with the owners of those opportunities by looking at this list and talk about maybe we should get re-engage with those customers and give those opportunities some boost. I can also see what's going on with my top accounts by looking at the Account Insights report. This is based on more than 100,000 news sources. So I can see some of my top accounts are going through mergers and acquisitions, and some of the leadership are changing. So my current deals might be affected, so I might want to pay extra attention or re-engage with my contact. But also some companies are expanding, so that might mean more sales opportunities to us. So it's good to know all of this. As a sales manager, I know that live conversations are critical when we get too close to the finish line. So here I'm logged in as a sales rep, Wes, and I have decided to put some metrics I really care about to show me how often the live conversation was happening, like last event date, last call date, and a general inactive number of days for my opportunities. So I can see, with a quick view of the list, which opportunities need more love. So let's drill down into one of the opportunities. And because I have connected my Gmail account to Salesforce, all my emails and meetings with my contact Katie are showing up in the timeline. I can decide which ones I want to share the full details, or I can keep some of them private. And I can see all the standard insights plus the custom insights. So I know specifically on this email, Target is a competitor we're dealing with for this deal. By looking at the timeline, I see my last communication with Katie is this email I sent out last week. And I can tell Katie already opened and read it. And this is about how we can take the next step to close the deal. And we have a meeting scheduled later this week to talk about just that. But since I know Katie already saw it and read it, maybe it's a good time for me to give her a quick call and see if she has any questions or concerns I can start getting prepared for right before the meeting, so we can keep the momentum going. And because meetings are synced into Salesforce too, so if I drill down into a meeting, I'm seeing all the familiar custom layout I like about how to manage my meetings. I can even capture custom information such as reschedule, cancel reasons that I personally like to have. So how would this timeline look like for somebody who hasn't connected their email account? We talk about this is for everyone now, so let's take a look. Here I'm logged in as a sales rep, John, who hasn't connected his email. So his emails with contacts or meetings with contacts are now showing up here. However, he can see Einstein captured emails and meetings shared by all his teammates. So here, for example, I can see all the same emails Wes sent out, except the ones that Wes has kept as private. In that case, I can also ask for access if I think that's an important one, might be relevant for me. And John can also see the important standard insights. So there's more. So every Einstein captured activity and events can be seen by everybody. Everybody can benefit from Einstein. But of course, the more users connect their data sources, the more data and insight there is to share for everyone. So that's a great way to start team collaboration. So with that, that's all the demo. I would love to hear what the community have to say or ask.
Great, thank you so much. Now, one thing I'd like to clarify, just in case anyone missed it, because we get this question all the time, and if you could just clarify what part of Sales Cloud Einstein is available to Sales Cloud customers at no additional cost versus what they would have to purchase an add-on for.
Sure. Yeah, so the Einstein Activity Capture, now you get 100 users with no extra charge, which means even for users without the license or haven't connected their accounts, they can benefit from activity timeline and see activities shared by the connected users. And standard insights, as we can see here, are also visible for the standard users. But you have to have a paid license to see activity or use activity metrics or custom insights. And the good thing there, as I mentioned, you only need one paid license for everybody to start using activity metrics, which is great because that gives you a complete view of both captured and logged activities. And for all the other Einstein features, I know lead score, opportunity score, we're giving it to all the standard users, but forecasting and the insights are still paid features. So you will need Sales Cloud Einstein license to be able to use those.
Great, that's very helpful, thank you. So everyone should check those features out and try them out, especially in Spring 19, because there's lots of great new features.
Yeah, we have a very packed release.
Yeah, especially the activity capture, I saw there was a lot on that. So Sam, what questions do we have from the viewers?
Oh, well, we have some great questions. Rick has been very busy, and I love this question. He's asking, if we have Sales Cloud Einstein, will the assistant section of the home page in Lightning be replaced with the Einstein information? I thought that was an awesome question.
So the Sales Cloud Einstein, the component, UI component will still be there. It won't be replaced, but you have more places to see the same insights and you can report on them. That's the addition of this release.
And Rick is also asking, are the Einstein Insight dashboards available to us or do we build them ourselves? So assuming you have the license for the analytics, right? I think I heard that correctly. So what's out of the box?
Yes, it does require the Sales Cloud Einstein, but once you have the Einstein, the admin have to create a custom report type. Once they have created the report type, then each individual user with a license can create their own reports.
Great. All right. So then there is some work to do, but you heard the steps. Nathan has asked a bunch of questions, and specifically, how does Einstein Activity Capture relate emails to the correct opportunity? He's interested in some of the logic there.
Very good question. So we look at the contact emails and lead emails to know which contacts and leads you're dealing with in your email box. But when it comes to Salesforce side, the record we'll be looking at the opportunity contact roles. So we know which contacts you're working with on a particular opportunity, and then we'll treat those emails as relevant to that opportunity.
And also related to Einstein Activity Capture, and if I heard you say this correctly, there's 100 licenses that is available before a fee kicks in. Did I hear that right?
Yes, absolutely. Right. Okay. This has been rolled out in the summer 18 release. So as any standard Sales Cloud customers, you have 100 users who can connect their email inboxes to Salesforce. So there's no reason to wait to try this out. And we have sandbox support now. So if you're not sure, you want to do it safely in the sandbox, you can do that.
And I asked that question because I want to make sure that we understand, once you're connected with Einstein Activity Capture, would all of your emails show up in Salesforce?
Not everything. So we have a few safeguards put in place. We know all the internal emails, like if I send an email to Mike, just because our email addresses are both salesforce.com, we recognize that's an internal email, so those won't show up. Or any email to anybody, your friends who are not a recognized contacts and leads in your Salesforce record, then those won't show up either. But let's say your wife, for example, your husband, is a contact in the system. You can also blacklist individual email addresses. So any playdate emails won't show up in the timeline.
Well, what I'm hearing is with those licenses available, if you haven't tried this out, at least in the sandbox, you could be missing out on some amazing opportunities for productivity. So, Elna, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but thank you for the questions. Keep them coming.
Yeah, and I had one more question for you before we move on.
Sure.
So about the insights part of it. So, you know, I've heard that with Einstein, you need a certain amount of data in order to really have the insights tell you something, because the Einstein has to have information in order to tell you, make sense of it, basically. So how much data would you say you would need, I guess, in the activities area or opportunities and contacts and accounts for the insights to really start showing a lot of value?
For the opportunity score, lead score, or Einstein forecasting, we do need some data available. So I think in the documentation you probably find details. Sometimes we need like the past 2 years or 6 months data, and we need also a constant active input of data. But for certain other insights, like meeting requested, we use a global model. So because, you know, it doesn't matter how you run your business, the way people ask for a meeting is pretty much the same. So for that kind of insight, you really don't need to have a whole lot of emails for us to discover that's an email request.
And then with the automated capture, you're going to create a lot of activities pretty quickly.
Yes,
right?
That's why the more users share their data, you find more value in using this feature.
Exactly. Thank you. All right. So Victor, I will let you. So now I told you you're going to learn something new, and this is the next section. So tell us, what is high velocity sales?
We have something very exciting for you all in February, where we are going to be launching a brand new product that is aimed for the inside sales persona in mind. We're truly looking to transform Salesforce into a system engagement for you to allow your pipeline builders, your deal closers, the ability to have a streamlined way of sharing, disseminating their best practices with teammates, or from central to be passed on to satellite offices, but also for our reps to be able to keep on track of their day, to spend less time on the organizational aspects of managing their day-to-day processes, their tasks, their to-do list, and more time focused on selling. So we've seen over the course of the last 10 years that there is a growing trend where a lot more businesses are investing into inside sales departments versus field sales. And this is due to the proliferation of different web technologies, different types of mediums that's available for you to communicate with your customers. You have the ability to connect to someone on a social channel like Twitter or LinkedIn. You're able to send out an email. You're able to make a phone call to them. But how does a sales rep how are they able to manage across so many different channels, especially when they're touching their customers 7 to 12 times before they could actually convert that prospect into an opportunity, or from an opportunity to be a closed business. So essentially, we've been sitting behind customers, watching them, these sales reps, to be able to engage with their computers, and we notice that they just they have sticky notes covered all across their desktops, across their desks, and it isn't a great way for them to streamline their workflow. So with our spring release, we are launching High Velocity Sales, and at the heart of High Velocity Sales is the Sales Cadences, which is a set of best practices that you could establish to help keep the sales rep in line with what they need to do on their day-to-day. Also, with work queues, you can imagine the work queues to be the control center for your sales reps to be able to power through their leads or their contacts, to have all the different steps be grouped together while they power through different types of templates, different call scripts, and to really accelerate the way that they go from lead to lead to lead. Along with the work queue, though, because a sales rep might be working on 60, 80, 100 different prospects day to day, they need a way of prioritizing as well. So previously, Einstein lead scoring was bundled together with Sales Cloud Einstein, but with High Velocity Sales and Einstein lead scoring, now you could prioritize your work queue accordingly. So you could focus your tasks on prospects that have a high propensity to convert rather than the leads that do not. And knowing that sales reps are not necessarily out of their lightning experience at all times, we do want to provide the same type of experience to power through your work queue directly on the desktop email experience as well. So whether you're out of Outlook or out of Gmail, you can still have that work queue be provided for you to be able to power through your emails. In addition, you get all of the different bells and whistles with Inbox that includes activity capture across all of your different users, the different insights that has been listed out by Ying earlier. And lastly, although it's not part of the SKU, Lightning Dollar is fully integrated in directly with our license of high velocity sales. And with Lightning Dollar, you have the capability to directly click to call from your desktops, and to be able to put in call dispositioning, to put in your notes, to record the phone calls, even for your managers to listen on the phone call in order for them to have better context on how to coach. So to dive into a little bit more detail on what exactly is a sales cadence, a sales cadence is something aimed to help a sales manager be able to disseminate these best practices to the rest of their teams. And then we will be providing a builder that will allow a sales manager to be able to define a email step, a call step, a custom step like connecting to someone on LinkedIn, and even a wait step in the case that you want to space out the engagements that you have with a given prospect. Also, you can incorporate it in different types of email templates, and also call scripts for objection handling, for giving value propositions, as an easy way for your reps to stay on track while they're talking to their customers. With the work queue, you can imagine that work queue to be that control center that's available for your sales rep to stay organized. They could send out emails, or they can make calls directly out of this work queue. They are also able to even track one-off tasks directly off of the work queue in the case that they want something outside of a cadence that they want to be able to work on. And of course, this work queue is available in Lightning Console, but also available in Gmail and Outlook. And lastly, with Lightning Dollar, you would have a seamless dialing experience to be able to engage with your customers directly off of Lightning Console. You'll be able to click directly to make a phone call. And then now we're also providing custom dispositioning values for you to be able to specify whether the call has connected, or you have left a voicemail, or anything additional that you want to put into the details for reporting analytics purposes. So with that said, let's jump into a demonstration and take a look at what the product looks like. So I'm going to start off as a sales manager. And as a sales manager, I have a brand new application available under the app launcher called High Velocity Sales. When I click on High Velocity Sales, I would actually be able to see two brand new objects available for me to work out of. One is Sales Cadences, and the other is Work Queue. So I'm going to start off with a sample sales cadence that I've already created. But in order to inject in additional steps, it's as simple as clicking the plus icon, defining whether you want to make a call, an email, a custom step, or a wait step. And within each of these steps themselves, you could define the name of the step. You could put in the call script or the email template. And then you could also put in the description for the rep to quickly understand what they need to do, especially if it's a brand new rep that's looking to onboard onto the business. Once you have completed the sales cadence, you could go ahead and hit activate. And then now your pipeline builders can go ahead and pick the sales cadence as a way of engaging with a lead or a contact record. So I'm going to swap over to the pipeline builder experience. And as a pipeline builder, they would have a customized dashboard that will give them visibility on different types of leads that have been converting, how well I have been performing on my cadence steps. So this dashboard, of course, is going to be able to be customizable by the end user. I would be able to open up my work queue by clicking on the open work queue icon, where now I have a list of different steps I need to conduct on this day in, day out basis, grouped together underneath a sales cadence step along with the cadence. So you can see I have two cadences on this list for West Coast leads as well as Northeast leads. And then I also have notifications here in the case that things are late, telling me that I have to take action right away. So let's start off with Bridget John. And clicking on Bridget John's record, you can see that all the information is persisted to me directly on the screen. I don't need to swap panels. I don't need to jump into a separate solution. Everything is available to me under Lightning Console, where I could also see out of Einstein lead scoring why I should be making a phone call to this person. Why is this a good lead that I should be converting? So my first step here is to make a call. And you can see by clicking on the call icon, the call script will automatically pull up on the right. My phone will start ringing. And with this phone ring, once it does connect, I could go ahead and put in a custom note. Let me go ahead and pick up this call. You can see that the call is connected. I could specify this is a great call. Customer is interested in progressing with product A, scheduling demo next week. Click connected, and you can see that you have the capability to also auto-log it. You could record the phone call. You could also drop a voicemail in the case that someone decides to not pick up and you don't want to repeat the same message over and over again. I'm going to end the call, and you can see that it's already logged here within Bridget John's record. I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh, and you can see that now the next step is available for Bridget John, which is to connect to this person on LinkedIn. Since it is a third-party task that is outside of Lightning Console, you would just have to go ahead and mark it complete or skip the step after it's completed. So with that, this will take me to my final step, which would be to email Bridget John. I'm going to click email here. You can see that the email populates with the template that I have specified. And then I could go ahead and preview this email also to make sure that all the merge fields is showing properly. And now I can send out the email. And you can see that the email is shown directly also that I have within the activity timeline that I have sent out that message. And I also have a way of seeing if the email is opened or unopened directly off of the timeline as well. So with that said, I would love to now hand it over to the community to see if you have any additional questions.
All right. Yes, I'm sure we have plenty of questions. So Sam, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Thank you very much. So we have a couple of versions of the same question about how do they find out more, what's the pricing, does this come with a Sales Cloud license? So can you clarify those questions, and also how do they go forward because they're interested in this?
Absolutely. So with high velocity sales, it is an add-on product to Sales Cloud, so it would require an additional license on a per user level. What will be included for high velocity sales would be your sales cadences, your work queue, your Einstein lead scoring, as well as inbox with Einstein activity capture bundled in together. What won't be part of the SKU is going to be the Lightning Dollar, which you would have to purchase as a separate product. In terms of questions related to pricing, I would definitely recommend you to speak directly to your account executive for more additional information.
Great. Okay, and then another question. I think that this was a great one related to Lightning Dialer. Is it focused on U.S. and Canadian numbers, or is it international?
That is a great question. So currently today, Lightning Dialer is something that is only supported within US and Canada, but we do have, as part of our 2019 roadmap, the ability to expand Lightning Dialer outside of the United States. We are first looking at targeting the UK market as the first international market to go after before we start venturing out to the rest of the world.
Awesome. And Elna, I'm going to hand it back to you. I know more questions will come in, but I know that we have a lot of interest in this next section as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sam. And just one quick thing I noticed on the slide, which is it said that it was Lightning only. So I'm assuming that means that in order to use this, you will need to be on Lightning experience.
Absolutely. So this product is purposely built on the Lightning console experience. It's really meant to help sales reps be able to have all that information directly at their fingertips, to be able to take action on one side while seeing information on the other. And Lightning is really geared, really tailored for that type of experience.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Anusha, over to you for reports and dashboards.
All right, so for Spring 19, the biggest feature on reporting and dashboard side is the Enhanced Report Run page. Now, you probably noticed there's this Enhanced Report Run page that's been going on since the last few releases. It's been in beta. But with the Spring 19, it is now generally available. So this means it's going to be the only run page when you're viewing reports in Lightning. And before I jump to the highlights, I kind of wanted to share the vision of the Enhanced Report Run page and why we have a new run page. There was already one before, right? So the reason why there's a new run page is because we want to give more power when you're viewing reports. And many of the actions that you can do when you're editing reports in the Lightning Report Builder can actually be done and will be exposed when you're viewing those reports as well. And this includes changing the grouping, changing the format. I'll be demoing that. But with the Spring 19 highlights, so resizable columns are finally here. I know the community has been wanting this for a long time because you want to clearly see all your data, and sometimes the adjustment of the columns isn't exactly correct. So we finally have that there. And you can save those resized columns as well. And we've been hearing more feedback from the community about the headers. So on the legacy run page, you were able to see those metrics at the top of the report. And we're bringing that to the enhanced as well. Along with, when you're scrolling through the report, you can see that the column headers are going to be fixed. And the feature I'm most excited about is conditional formatting. We're finally getting some color on the Lightning Report Builder and on the new run page. So with conditional formatting, you can create up to 5 conditional formatting rules on any metric or summary. And any of the rules that were created in the classic report builder or the Lightning Report Builder can both be viewed or rendered on this enhanced report run page. And this is going to help you clearly interpret your data, understand what's good and bad with your data. Also, there's more enhancements coming for matrix reports. So again, we've been hearing a lot of feedback on the community about how matrix reports, those reports where you have a row and a column grouping, can be more compact or condensed, right? So similar to Classic. So in Classic, we saw that the summaries or metrics were stacked on the column grouping. And now with the Spring 19 release, we're introducing the Stack Summaries toggle. So you can actually stack your summaries, which is the default option, so you get that compact view. And if you want to unstack it, then there's going to be a new column for each metric. And we really recommend stacking it, especially if you have 3 or more metrics, so that you get that compact view without a lot of scrolling. And another change for matrix reports is with the layout. So now there's a concept of a summary table and a details table. So you can actually drill into the summary table of the matrix report, and you would get a filtered version of your detail rows. And you might be wondering, why did we do that? Why is it not in line? The reason is we feel like the details can kind of be overwhelming sometimes, and you want to drill down on that. So it's nice to see a filter, and I'll be demoing that shortly as well. All right, so with dashboards, there's a nice enhancement coming as well. So all the new dashboards can be created using a 12-column layout or grid size. And the reason why we have this is we want to give you more flexibility on how you want to organize your components. There's still only going to be 20 components for a dashboard, but you just have more flexibility, especially when it comes to your metric components. Now with the compact metric component, your metrics can actually be quite small or quite big. They can be 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 2 by 1, whatever size you would like. Also, with the dashboard tables, there's a few more enhancements here. So now you can have up to 2 groupings on a Lightning dashboard table. And also the summary formulas that you had on the report can be added on the table as well. So Lightning subscription, so our favorite report and dashboard subscriptions feature. With this, with the subscription feature, you can get in your email the refreshed results. And now what we're doing is with the Spring 19 release, you can actually share those subscriptions, not just to yourself. You can share it to multiple users, public groups, and roles. So you can update the subscription that you already have, and you can edit recipients so that you can share this out to others. And we still have a limit of 5 subscriptions, but this is going to expand the reach of that. But one thing I wanted to note is that, we've been hearing from the community, like, oh, I don't see the roles in public groups. Just make sure that you have shared that folder where you have that report and dashboard to that subscription. So that folder has to be shared before you see that option. All right, and then Join Reports is now generally available. And this is really exciting because Join Reports for me has been a personal journey. I've been in the Join Reports since the day one, since we brought it to Lightning. And it's been in beta since the last few releases, and now it's finally generally available. And we're really hoping it's a lot more intuitive than it was in Classic. I know in Classic, the UI was a little bit scary and it was hard to figure out what to do. But now you can create these Join Reports using the Lightning Report Builder, and this is available to anyone. So any user can be able to create these reports. And Join Reports give you a 360 view of your data, right? So you can join the different report types or on the same report type. So with the Spring 19, you can switch into a Join Report format, and you can add or edit these blocks along with formulas. So Join Reports, there's 2 types of formulas, and either of those can be added, either the custom summary formula or the cross-block summary formulas. And historical tracking reports are now fully viewable in Lightning. And they've had limited support in Lightning since the last few years, but now you can actually see your matrix and tabular reports. So a tabular format was missing earlier, and now you can see both. And we're trying to make it a little bit easier on how you can see changes between these reports. But it's still not fully ready on the Lightning Report Builder side. So if you want to edit or create these reports, you have to use the classic report builder. But it is coming on our roadmap. In the next release, you should be able to do this on the Lightning Report Builder as well. And before I jump to a demo, I wanted to share that I'm going to be presenting at the Einstein Analytics Release Readiness Live in a few hours. And I'll be talking a lot more about historical tracking reports and join reports, the use cases, why we have them, and because these are some of our advanced reports. So definitely dial in if you have some interest on that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to my demo now. All right, so let's say, I'm a sales manager. And as a sales manager, I'm always interested in analyzing my pipeline, right? So I've created this report, and it's currently grouped by stage. And the first thing I notice is my metrics are back, right? So I have my average amounts here. And then as I'm scrolling through my report, the headers are sticky, so it's good to know what account and opportunity I'm looking at. But one thing I noticed is that this is kind of, I can't fully read the grouping name. So now I can actually resize these columns, so I can get a better view of this. And if I would like, I could save that as well. And as I mentioned with the new run page, some of the actions are already exposed from the Lightning Report Builder. So I'm looking at my data by stage right now. But this is good, and I see that, this stage qualification, that's where most of my deals are. But I also want to look at my data by fiscal period. And I don't have to edit the report now to do that. I can just group columns by this field. So now this just changes how I look at my data, right? So I'm now looking at this matrix report, and I can see that I see all the details here for this, right? So I see all the deals, and I see it's by fiscal period. And like I said, we have all the details below here, but it might be interesting to actually drill down. But before I get to the drill down, I know you're probably wondering, this is the stack summary. So now this is a different view than what we had in the legacy run page, right? So you can actually stack your summaries, and that's the default view. And if you unstack them, you'll see that, there's a column. This is their previous view where it was a more scrolling, and now with the stack summaries, they're all stacked together. But now once you stack your summaries, right, you can also drill down on this summary table. So I might be curious to look at, okay, in the last fiscal quarter, what deals were kind of stuck at qualification? So once I click at that intersection, that gives me a filtered view of just my details. So I see that these are the 5 deals that were in that intersection here with qualification and with that grouping. Now this is great, but it's still kind of bland, and I know there's been always shades of white and blue and gray, but now there can be more colorful shades. So let's go ahead and see how we can add some color now on this report, because there's just a lot of data, right? So let's see how we can add some conditional formatting. So conditional formatting is right here, and I can go ahead and add a conditional formatting rule on the Lightning Report Builder. So as I mentioned, conditional formatting can be on any summary or metric, right? So maybe I want to format by average amount here, because if the amount's less than 500,000, let's see if we can sell them more. So maybe that's an ambition that I have as a sales manager. So I want to quickly see what deals have an amount less than 500K, and if it's greater than $1 million, let's say that's green. And now you can change these background colors too, so if you can pick any color that you would like. But let's go ahead and keep the default colors. So once I apply this, so you can actually have, as I mentioned, 5 rules. And let's go ahead and apply this, and you'll see that it's rendered right here. And let's see how it looks like with our data. Great. Now, at any time, if I want to remove this, I can just cross this out as well. So now this gives me a nice compact view on my data, and I can see that, okay, I can easily see what was bad and wrong, right? So I guess for me, I was analyzing my business by fiscal period and by stage, and I see that, value prop and perception analysis, these stages never had any amount. So I'd be curious to see what happened last fiscal quarter and why those deals kind of passed through that. So that's a good insight for me to have. And I'm already subscribed to this report. But what I can do now is that this type of report, I've enhanced it. So let's save it first of all. I've added conditional formatting. It's really easy with stack summaries and conditional formatting. So let's go ahead and actually add others to the subscription. So as I mentioned, I already get this report on a weekly basis, but now I can add others. So when I add other subscriptions, there's roles and public groups. So maybe I want to add other managers in my territory to this report, so they also get an understanding of my pipeline. So I can just add that and then save it. So once I do that, I've updated my subscription and they also get the results. So that's what we have on the enhanced report run page, some of the key highlights. But now I wanted to show you some of our dashboard enhancements. So one of the neat things, as I mentioned now, actually we had it for a while, is that you can add a report chart right to a dashboard. And I don't know how many of you guys use this feature. So it's going to ask me to save if I would like. I do want to save, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I can add that chart to my dashboard because I don't think that component was in my dashboard. So I'm adding it to my Sales Manager dashboard. And it's going to ask me for what settings. We can just use the same chart settings. So you see that the grid layout looks a little bit different, right? There's more squares, rectangular squares here. That's because this dashboard is actually on the 12-column grid size layout, which is our recommended layout. So all the new dashboards, you can create it off of this. And the existing dashboards, if you would like, you can, change it to a 12-column. All right, and the reason, again, I mentioned why we have this is because we want to give more flexibility on the components. So I have these 3 metrics here, like my total amount that we won, the total leads, and open cases. But if I would like, I can make this really small. I can make this a 1-by-1 metric, right? So it adjusts it accordingly. But now it looks like the title is cut off, so I can maybe make it a 1-by-2. And maybe I want to make all of these 1-by-2 so that I can make these other charts a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and do that. Great. Now I can actually expand this a little bit. Yeah, that's how I'd like it. If we want, we can match this as well. Awesome. And as I mentioned, so this is good. I made a little bit more compact metric, and I also was able to expand some components. Now I noticed this Lightning dashboard table here, leads by source. So I'm usually tracking how are the leads coming in. But it'd be nice to add another grouping here. And now I can do that with the Spring 19 release. I also want to look at my leads, not just by source, but maybe by status as well. So I can go ahead and add that. And there's the secondary grouping here. Awesome. So this is looking really good. I'm going to go ahead and save my dashboard. And so these are my compact metrics, my dashboard table. And one of the other things I wanted to point out is now that this is we have a chart here, right? And I see that the top industry we're selling to is biotech. But I might want to explore what's going on with the biotech, like what are the exact deals that we won. So I can just click on that chart segment, and that's going to give me that filtered view in my report. So now I can see exactly, what are those deals that we won in biotech. And the filters panel right here, it also creates a linked filter. So that's something just good to know that we have filtered on this report. And I can, again, analyze more, so I can change my grouping. I can do other things that I just showed you. So those are some of the key features for reports and dashboards. And I'm very excited to hear your feedback and questions.
Wow, thank you. That was a very colorful presentation, I must say. Love the colors. I love color coding things, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of excitement about that and a lot of experimentation going on in the sandboxes. So we have time for some questions. So Sam, what do we have out there?
Well, I have a question, and Elna, I think it's a combination to both you and Anusha, you on this enhanced report run page, because I build a lot of reports, I build a lot of dashboards, and it feels like this is taking the burden off of me as a report and dashboard administrator, or the person that's building these, and giving it to the user to be able to slice and dice their data more as they're interacting with a report. And I want to make sure that we all understand that, because I'm feeling a little bit of weight lifted off of my shoulders. So So that's my first question. Am I getting this right? And my second question is how do we help people get their end users to understand this capability?
Yes, I mean, both are great questions. For the first question, you got it absolutely right, Sam. I mean, that's the vision. And, I know you probably notice if you're experimenting in the sandbox, there might be a few things missing and we're adding in fixes right now. But that has been the vision for us. We really want to make the report viewer a lot more powerful so that they don't have to, admins don't have to set up all these reports way in advance and keep having to do all that management, right? As a report viewer, I have more power about how I want to slice and dice my data, and I understand my business data probably better, right, than my admin. So I know how we need to look at this data and what are the questions. So that's always been our goal. And, as you'll see, coming in our roadmap, we're going to start exposing even more feature sets onto the enhanced report one page, like undo, redo, and all those things. And with regards to the second question, yes, we are also thinking about having better onboarding on the Lightning Report Builder and on the Enhanced Report one page. So we're looking into seeing how we can allow users, like when they're using the product, like our salespeople, I know they're very busy, they don't have time to read help docs or watch, videos from an external portal. So I'm looking at how we can integrate that right when they're doing those common actions, like filtering, sorting, and all those things.
So before we take a few more questions, why don't we hand it over to Mike to talk about the roadmap, because I know everyone wants to see what's coming up, and then we'll go back and finish the last couple of minutes with the rest of your questions.
All right, thank you, Elna. So here I have the roadmap for the areas that we covered. So on the left here, I want to highlight some things regarding the core objects. First one I show you is enhance opportunity contact role. I know it's been a long, big idea out there. We're going to start the work to make that a first-class object. So you guys heard from Yin, this is important for us to some of the email tracking, but we want to give you capability to add more custom fields, to write triggers into it. In addition, for product schedules, we want to do the same thing, make this a first class. Right? So use cases, people might have schedules or products they want to deliver over time, which is the expectation that the customer had, but you can actually maybe want to put actuals in there, for example. In addition, there's some gaps that we want to cover. So there's, for example, like account opportunity partners. Those are related lists that still exist in Classic, does not exist in Lightning, so we're working hard to bring that in. Clone opportunity products. I know that's still a gap for us. We're trying to evaluate technical capabilities, how to do a 2 transaction into 1. So we're trying to figure out how to do that. And on the productivity side, for emails, inline imaging and rich text is coming. Right. In addition, you get a multi-user calendar so you can display multiple users a calendar on the calendar grid. And last but not least is Lightning and iPad and mobile. So that will be coming out soon. And on the Einstein side, emails can be complicated, right? So we want to give you better history. So email threading will combine some of the emails so you can understand the history better. And on the scoring side, right now we look at the main entity itself. We want to extend to the related objects of that entity. So for example, for opportunities, right, we want to look at opportunity contact role, opportunity products, use some of that additional data to make the score better. And then for insights, now you have it in reports. We want the ability for you to use that as part of your trigger and process flow. And for high velocity sales, we want to do more with sales cadence, so have more APIs, open up the APIs for you to use, and then do more daisy chaining, have branching for you, say, hey, branching, so you can decide what action, if it's yes, no. And then do more work on the work queue, so you can customize, build in alerts. And on the dialer side, I know Victor talked about international, but we want to also support the open CTI. So if you have another backend system that you use for CTI, we will integrate it into dialer. In our reporting and dashboard side, a big one here is role level formulas. I know this is a call out in the True to Core in the past Dreamforce. I think it's about 30,000 points. So Anisha's team is going to work hard and then have a beta out hopefully for this release. So role level formulas. In addition, historical tracking reports, now you can view, but you have to edit in Classic. We want to give you that edit capability, more conditional formatting. And last one I'll highlight is Lightning report notification. So this is, you can do some conditions on the reports. So let's say if I have a report on accounts, I notice a company has grown, send me an alert when the value goes above a certain, like let's say more than 10,000 employees. So you can get an alert on reports when some data has changes. And that's a few highlights on our roadmap.
So when you say coming soon, you mean summer, winter? How far ahead are we looking here?
So I'll say majority of these will probably come in the summer, and some of these will probably be in the winter.
It's going to be an exciting winter, I can tell that already, and summer as well. So Sam, we do have some time. We're 1 minute from the official end, but we will stay for a couple of extra minutes to handle some extra questions because we do love to get as many as we can. So why don't you give us some of the top questions that we still have remaining before we wrap up?
We had a whole series of questions about email templates, like do my classic email templates convert over to Lightning? Can I use them? And I know that we've covered that in past releases, but maybe a refresher there. And then this user level permission as you're working with different Lightning templates. So can you just give us a high level overview of what do I do if I'm converting over from Lightning about my classic templates, and how does the permissions and the ability to view actually function now? Because I know we covered that, but I wanted to cover that again.
Yeah, so Classic and Lightning are still separate in terms of email template, right? So even the folders now, they only exist, the new ones I show you is only Lightning. You actually need permission to assign it to users so they can see it. So Classic and Lightning are still discrete, right? So what I recommend is go to your Classic, go review them, and then go recreate them in the Lightning environment.
That's great. And we have some questions related to this whole ability to calendar and add resources. And Christopher was asking, he knows on activities, which includes events, we have a who and we have a what, and we can add, he's wondering if resources will show on that screen or if it's specific to adding to a calendar. So can you explain a little bit more about how that works for Christopher?
Yeah, so resources only exist on calendar, does not exist on the tasks. It's only on the calendar where you can add the resources. So this is part of that public calendar where the team calendar and also resources, it's bundled together, and that's why it only exists on calendar.
And I have one a high velocity sales question that I want to put in here. Alex was intently listening, and he's asking, can you add your contacts or leads from a Salesforce campaign into the sales cadence? And I thought, wow, that was a great question, or maybe a great idea.
Very good question. So as of our February release of this product, you are able to customize by utilizing the invocable actions available to add a buyer into a cadence. So if you're at a process builder, you build out a custom Apex class, you could definitely make this happen. We are going to take a look at making things a little bit more out of the box, something that is more intuitive for an end user, a sales rep or sales manager to do themselves. So that is something that we are considering on the roadmap.
And time for one more? Okay, so Carol's asking, Carol's a big fan of joint reports. Does she need to take advantage of, does she need to rebuild her reports for Lightning, or can she just use them in her classic reports in Lightning?
Yes, of course. So the classic reports can be viewed, the classic joint reports can be viewed on the enhanced report run page, and you can edit those reports, recreate more. It's all possible.
Amazing. All right. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap it up for this morning, or the first part of the morning, depending on where you are. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope you had as good a time as we did today, looking at lots of great new Sales Cloud features in Spring 19. If we didn't get your question live, don't worry. We will follow up with you within the next couple of days. And actually, you have another chance to ask more questions of Anusha, because she'll be back soon. And also, we have recorded this, so you can watch it back anytime or share it with others. And we do love to get your feedback, so you will hopefully see a link to a survey on the screen. Please click on that, take a few minutes to let us know what you thought of today's webcast, and come back and do the same for each one that you watch. And join us again today at 11:45 a.m. Pacific with Einstein Analytics. And also Anusha will be doing some additional presentations for the advanced reporting features that are coming in spring. So now I can't wait to hear how you're using new features to innovate. So let's keep the conversation going in the Release Readiness Trailblazers community, where all of us are there to help you be release ready.